Yo, what's up, Jordan Fisher? And you're checking on my boy, David Duane.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to On Air with David Duane, your one and only rock star on the mic. Yes, in the place to be. We've got our boy, recording artist and actor, Jordan Fisher, on with us. What's going on, Jordan?
Yo, man, thanks for having me, dude.
No problem. Thanks so much for coming on the show. Like I said before we got started, we're a fan of yours. So, I mean, the work that you've done with your acting previously and now do music and have the single All About Us, I mean, it's totally an honor to have you on with us.
Oh, man, I really appreciate that, dude. It's been a fun few years, really. I mean, I've been in LA and in the industry and pursuing this whole thing for almost a decade now, and I'm so grateful that it's taken this amount of time for me to kind of be at this point, because I feel so much more, equipped emotionally and spiritually for everything that my weird industry, kind of entails. You know what I mean? So, it's an honor, though, man. I'm happy to be able to wake up every day and do what I love,
Absolutely. So let's talk about the single All About Us, because it's an amazing single.
Thanks.
How are you feeling about the response to it?
Wow. It's been incredible, really, considering that it hasn't really, impacted radio and has a little over a week before it does. Still, the response has been pretty remarkable between the music video and the different markets that have already started playing it kind of around the country. It's been great. I played a show, as a matter of fact, in Corpus Christi, about a month ago. And for the first time ever heard, a crowd of people singing my song with me while I was singing again. And like that, I can't tell you, as an artist, you dream of that. You dream of that moment.
Right.
And I'll never forget that show. I'll never forget that one show, that one day in Corpus Christi, Yeah,
that's amazing that people are reacting to it. It's a real feel-good record. It's funky, but it's still popping. It's very grown. Tell everybody who's not heard the record, tell them about, the concept of it, because it has a dope message.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm a relationship-oriented person. I love people. I love my friends. I love my family. I'm in a relationship as well, romantically. And in all of those relationships, it's a two-way street. It's never going to be just about you or just about, me. It's always going to be about us. That's what makes it so special. That's what makes it so unique and incredible, is that you and I are right here, right now, and let's love that. Let's live it and love it and do the thing the right way. There's something a little old school about that. I mean, I grew up listening to Luther and Lionel and Stevie and Ray and Doobie Brothers and the Isley Brothers and Maxwell, all of those guys, those guys that really revolutionized lyrics and pop soul in the 80s. I grew up loving those guys. So them and making it 2016, making it Jordan Fisher was really kind of my mission. And I feel like All About Us is, really the best way to kind of introduce people to that concept and introduce people to me as an artist, as a person, and really kind of give them a foundation where my music's concerned.
Absolutely. So it's good that you mentioned those artists, Jordan, because a lot of those artists have distinct tones that are very distinct. No one can compare to that. And you have a distinct tone yourself. It's almost like cray. Like, where did you where were you first? Like, when you discovered, okay, this is really what I want to do as far as music is concerned, acting is concerned.
Dude, I was in fifth grade, right? I mean, really all I knew up to fifth grade was gymnastics. I did gymnastics for 12 years. But I was in fifth grade, and there was this girl that I had a crush on that joined the drama club. And one day she asked me if I was going to join the drama club, and I was like, yeah, duh. And I did. And that first day, man, I fell in love. I fell in love with art. I fell in love with acting and singing and dancing and entertainment just in general. And, hindsight's always 20/20. I think that one of the reasons why I love gymnastics so much is there's an entertainment factor there. I was able to do what I loved and have a good time doing it, and help be able to, take people, kind of away for a minute and have them, forget about real life for just a bit and gain some new perspective on something and kind of entertain. I didn't realize that until years later, but, fifth grade, that's when it happened for me, man. I was, 10 years old, and I loved it. I freaked out.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And how would you say gymnastics helped you with as far as the dancing is concerned? Because I'm a dancer as well, so
nice.
I know that probably helped you a lot. But tell the listeners how that helped a lot. Being able to bring that as a performer now.
Yeah, just kind of my kinesthetic awareness really helps me a lot where gymnastics is concerned. That is implemented at the beginning of your training, is learning your body, learning how your body works, learning where your body is at all times within your space and in your surroundings. Just it teaches you grace. Really, that's kind of the biggest thing. I'm comfortable on my feet. I'm comfortable moving. I'm comfortable, doing things with my body. And gymnastics definitely helped with that because I was forced from a young age, growing up in elementary school, middle school, I was forced to learn how my body worked and push it to the limit. So it also really kind of taught me discipline. It taught me willpower. It taught me discipline. It taught me time management. It taught me a lot of those.
Right. And that's a good thing that it taught you all those things because especially with time management, it's like being entertainment and being in music and acting. You've got to have that being able to, okay, let me, all right, this time I need to do this. Okay, we need to be here then.
Right.
Like, you've got to have that or else you're not going to be able to do it or last long.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean, for example, I'm literally in an airport right now. And I had a conference call, and then I had a window where I could eat my meal before I, hopped on the phone with you before I got on my plane to head back to LA. And, growing up, being a part of things, activities between gymnastics, theater, and all that stuff where you have to learn time management from a young age, it definitely helps. It helps you learn how to, do business later in life. It helps you learn how to, it teaches you respect really for other people and their time as well,
And you've been a part of huge projects, from Grease Live to Teen Beach, like, when you think about being a part of both of those, great success, how does that make you feel?
Grateful, man. It could be anybody else, but for whatever reason, it was my turn for that project, for that film, for that show, for those roles, it's again, timing is everything. Timing is so much of what this industry is. For whatever reason, God had it in His will for me to book those shows and book those films and book that whatever when I booked it because, the timing was right because maybe I was a little more emotionally prepared for that thing, or maybe I was a little more, physically equipped for that thing. Maybe I was, you know what I mean? So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that for the projects that I've been a part of, and already grateful for the projects that I, don't know about yet. You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely. And with Grease Live, you were able to work with Vanessa Hutchins,
oh yeah,
Palmer,
yeah, man,
a lot of amazing, beautiful women, beautiful stars.
That's
you work
right.
with Carlos, who's very talented. What was it like being able to work with them and then being able to, take what you saw in the original Grease and apply it to the live version?
Oh, dude, it was incredible. I mean, Sean Vanessa Hutchins, and Julianne Hough. I grew up watching Kiki and loving her. Carlos, same thing. I've seen these people, and they've been a part of my life for a while, and so being able to do a show where we all, we're already obsessed with the content. We were all already obsessed with the film, with the music, with the choreography, with the dialogue. We had all either been in a school production of it, or at least pretended to be in a production of it in our basement. Growing up, it was cool to be able to do that on that level and on that scale, and with each other. From day one, we were all obsessed with each other. From day one, we were all like, hey, cool, all right, now we're a family. Let's do this show. And I'm just grateful that it went well, because it could have gone just as badly as it went well.
Right, and I can definitely see that you guys had a lot of fun doing it, from the different things I saw on social media, from, to you guys actually hanging out before and after, it
right.
came out.
Yeah.
It was just incredible. You guys really did develop serious friendships.
We're family, dude. We all talk to each other all the time still and hang out whenever we can. We're a Grease Live family.
Most definitely. So now with this album, what sound would you say that you're going for mostly?
Again, going back to that 80s thing, I grew up loving all of those artists. Again, revolutionized pop and soul and R&B back then. So my kind of sonic drive is taking the things that I loved, bits and pieces of things that I loved about that genre, here and there, and implementing that into a new, kind of fresh 2016 Jordan Fisher pop soul sound, with R&B roots and with, soul and lyrics. That's my mission.
Absolutely. That's definitely dope, because I feel like a lot of people need to hear those kind of that sound of music, most importantly, because nowadays we have the transition change, but I feel like it's always good when you can bring back the old roots of where music really was booming, and people were like, I love that record. I love that record. It made me feel like this. It made me feel like this. It was timeless.
Yeah.
It was endless. And that's what you're doing right now. You're creating a lot of timeless music, it seems like.
Oh man, I appreciate that, dude. I would definitely love for it said and done. You know, it's hard to say like what is timeless and what isn't going to be. I mean, I definitely feel like the records that I have are records that, you know, you could spin now and you could spin 10 years from now, or, you know, there's something nostalgic about them. You know, there's something about them that reminds me of, you know, again, that thing that I loved growing up that people still bump and play. You know, the Mark Morrisons of the world and the Tyreses of the world, you know, those, you know, the JTs and the Ushers, like you still play their stuff, and obviously it'd be a dream of mine to be able to be in that wave of artists.
Can we also talk about the record Counterfeit? Like,
yeah,
that record is so ill. Did you write that?
No, I actually didn't write that one. So I wrote a little over half of the record. I've probably written about 80 songs in the last year, which is insane. But just as much songwriter, as much as I love writing for myself and writing for other people, I love interpreting other songwriters' songs. You know what I mean? The biggest thing is just kind of like, you know, finding that authenticity in within the tracks, within the music. You know, if it's a song that makes sense with the rest of my record, if it's a song with lyrics that I feel like I could have written, if emotionally I'm drawn to it and attached to it and feel like it could have come from my own heart, then brother won't cut the song. You know what I mean? So Counterfeit was one of them. Counterfeit was definitely one of them. You know, I love it, and it's funny. You know, not a ton of people know about it. You know, it's got some like hits and spins on like SoundCloud and YouTube and that kind of thing, but it'll be on the record. It'll be on the record for sure.
Right. I mean, it definitely has to, because it created a lot of buzz. I mean, you got a great amount of feedback from like the blogs, the fans. Were you expecting that, like at the time that you posted it?
Yeah, no, I don't really know what I was expecting, to be honest with you. You know, after talking to my team, my label and everything, we were like, you know what, we should probably just like drop a song the night that Grease Live happens, so that whenever, you know, people look you up, you know, they've got like a general kind of sonic foundation to stem from, like, oh, this is what he's doing, this is his mission, this is his thing. And then All About Us was, I think, the right way to kind of back that up as the first single for the record, you know?
Right. And I have to say, I do like the strategy behind that, because as soon as Grease Live was on and then the song, I was like, this is smart, and this is the way that you should really strategize projects. That's how anybody should. Like, you want to put something out while there's something else going on that's even bigger than the moment itself.
Definitely. So people find it organically. They, you know, they don't feel like it's shoved down people's throats. They kind of just like, you know, they're like, oh, this Jordan Fisher guy, like, you know, oh, Teen Beach Movie, oh, Live in Meth. Oh my God, he's putting on new music. All right, dope. Like, let me see what all that's about. You know what I mean? Like that was the mission there. So I'm glad that it went the way that it did.
Right. And I know you've been in the studio for about a year now, working hard on this project. What has been like the most rewarding thing about, you know, recording an album?
Oh man, I think just kind of, you know, being able to pour out my heart and, you know, create songs that hopefully, like I said, hopefully people, you know, become grown to, people that, you know, they can get in their car and go to work or go to school or whatever it is that they do, and have an album to put on that, you know, tells them a story that makes them feel good or makes, you know, reminds them of, you know, something that they love or what have you. I mean, I could give you a list of albums that I grew up, you know, every day whenever I got in the car to go to school or to go to work at like my retail job or whatever, or go to a rehearsal or on the way to set, you know, albums that I would sit and listen to that, you know, created memories for me. There's something that happens there naturally that just kind of, you know, I'll go back and listen to a song during those time frames. Be like, oh man, like I remember when this happened, when that happened, or like that meal that I ate, or that time that I went to the beach with these people, that, like, you know, memories that you wouldn't normally be able to trigger unless you heard that song. I think that mentality going into creating the album has been a blast for me, because, you know, I'll take a song that I just wrote for the record and be like, oh man, you know, this is going to be the song that, like, you know, some dude's going to be listening to with his girl driving down PCH in California. Like 4 or 5 years from now, they're going to listen to the song again and be like, oh, remember this song? Remember when we were blah, blah, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of, that was the mentality I had going into creating the record. And, you know, the hope is that the goal and the hope is that all of that happens organically. And, it has really, it's been such a fun, seamless process building the album. So I'm excited to share it with everybody.
That's amazing. And the single was produced by Oak. What was it like, you know, working with Oak? Because he's an incredible producer.
Yeah, he is. Dude, he's produced some records that I had no clue. You know what I mean? Like, I can remember that was the very, very first day we worked together. We were having lunch, and and we were talking about some song that turned into talking about, you know, like comic books, and that went from like Marvel to DC, and then the DC thing, I went from like, we started talking about Kryptonite, and I was like, oh, Kryptonite. Dang, Mario had a song called Kryptonite that I listened all the time, and he was like, oh my God. And I was like, what? And he goes, dude, I did that song. And I was like, are you kidding me? We've done that so many times. We'll be in the middle of a conversation, I'll be like, oh, you remember this song by this person? And be like, bro, I did that song. So working with him, he's a big teddy bear, man, and he you know, has become a bit of a big brother to me, and we did probably, I think, 8 songs on my album we did together. So
Nice.
he's definitely helped shape the general sonic direction for the record. For me as an artist, you know, I went into it kind of telling him what I wanted to do and explained to him, like, you know, like this is the sound that I want to have and want to create, and you know, I mean, you either get it or you don't, and he got it, and he was excited about it. He's like, dude, this is the music that I want to be making. This is the kind of thing that I want to be doing. And I was like, all right, well then this is going to work out well. And it's been a blast, man.
Right, that's amazing that you guys are working together. Because even when he gets together with his partner Pop, like, I mean, it's just incredible record.
Yeah,
like always.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody out there doing, you know, topping Oak right now. I'll just say that. I don't think anybody else is doing it better than him.
Not at all. And what other producers are you working with on this project?
Oh, I worked with a couple of pretty great teams. I worked with S1, who's, you know, best I never had for Beyonce, really great guy. Danger, who's probably, yeah, he's
are you
super
serious?
heavy hitter. Yeah. We probably did about 6 songs together. A few of them are on the record. There's actually one of them we did together that's going to end up being a collaboration that I'm pretty excited about. CS1, Danger, Oak, Blueprint. You know, really the biggest thing is, like, I mean, I could go through a monstrous list of people and tell you who I worked with over the last, you know, year and a half to find that thing. But really the biggest was, like, once we kind of really locked in what that sound was like and people had something to go off of, then it was a matter of, like, blind dating and seeing, you know, who I just meshed with and vibed. Oak was definitely one of, you know, the main guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
So sonically, this is just about to be on a whole nother level.
Man, I hope so, dude. I'm proud of it. Listen, that's all I can.
Especially you saying that you got records with Danger.
Wow. Yeah.
And but you know the thing is, I don't even think people really realize how hot Danger is. Like
oh my God,
I think they so sleep.
No. Yeah. People are so sleep on Danger. You know, well, I'll be like, Danger. I'm like, yeah. They're like, Danger? And I go, dude, Timbaland? And they'll be like, oh, yeah, Timbaland. I'll be like, yeah. That's Danger. Like, Timbaland is Danger. Like, that's his guy. Like, Danger helped find that sound with Tim. You know, like they work so much together, blah, blah. And they're like, oh my God, that's crazy. So it's cool to hear, you know, you know about him and know what he does. He's innovative, man. He's creative. He makes, you know, mountains out of foothills, dude. He's incredible.
Right. He definitely does. So with this album, have you already thought of a title for it yet, or are you doing self-title? What are you thinking that you're going to go with title-wise?
I have a title, and I'm really excited to share that with everybody. It's going to be at the right time, though. There's definitely a story behind it, and I'm excited to share that with people.
Absolutely, and I'm glad that you mentioned stories, because I wanted to ask you about, you know, when it comes to writing songs, and influence of writing songs, how important do you feel that it is for you as an artist to write something that has a great storyline with it, something that people can relate to? How important is that?
Oh, well, I mean, I definitely think it's important to be able to speak from your heart, you know, especially in music. You know, if there's something that happens in your life that you feel like you need to talk about or get off your chest or whatever, I mean, being able to put that to lyrics and put the lyrics to melody and put the melody to track, like, it's a really special thing that not a lot of people, you know, get the opportunity to do. And that said, you know, there's 1,000,007 incredible songs in the world that no one will ever hear because artists don't cut them. Songwriters don't put them out and artists don't cut them. So, you know, for me, again, as much as I love writing for myself, I love writing for other artists. And I also love cutting other songwriters' songs. Like, as long as I'm able to interpret it in a way that it's authentic and that it, you know, it makes sense for me as Jordan Fisher, it's, you know, that's going to happen. That's just kind of is what it is. But the biggest thing for me, really, to answer your question, is just, you know, being able to speak from your heart and help people realize that they're not alone in whatever situation, you know, they're going through. If they hear a song and they're like, oh man, well, I'm definitely not the only person that has gone through this or is going through this or has been through that. So being able to share that, those vantage points and that perspective is definitely an important thing. I mean, Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, they both did that so well. They didn't write any of their songs. None of them. They wrote nothing. They wrote, they cut other songwriters' songs, but they interpreted it so well, and they were able to sing and speak from their heart because those things that meant something to them. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
And look how they turned out. Incredible.
Exactly.
And that's what the best of the best do. They don't write. Sometimes they write when it's, something that's therapeutic, and it's like, oh, you know what, the situation was major and serious. Let me go write that, because I do music as well. So a lot of me personally, my stuff, I haven't even written it. Some stuff I have written it. So I feel like, it's always good to convey, what a writer has, thought, and be able to, put it out there, because it's good that when they're able to say what you want to say, too, is even better.
Right.
Well, Jordan, thanks so much for this interview, man. Definitely
you got it, man.
Chatting with you.
No, you got it, dude. I appreciate you taking the time, and thanks for having me on, dude. It means a lot.
No problem. Before we have you go, what's next? You got the video out for All About Us. When can we expect the album?
Fall is the plan right now. Hopefully All About Us takes off and becomes a song you can't get away from, and then at that point we'll go back to the drawing board. We might put it out earlier, we might put it out a little later. We'll see, but we're just going to kind of read the tea leaves at this point.
That's incredible. Well, man, definitely keep it up. I see you busy doing the promo for the last couple of weeks. Like, that is incredible. That your team,
thanks, dude.
Is like, you guys are like about that. That's amazing.
It's crazy. We're going into week 8, dude. Going into week 8. Crazy. Yeah.
How many more weeks is it you have with it?
2 more.
That's dope.
One more full week and then another week. I'll be back in LA for a bit doing some things, and then I'll be in Europe for about half a week. And then I'll come back and go on vacation for a minute.
Hey, that's solid. That's a solid game right there. Can't beat it.
Absolutely, brother. All right, dude. It was nice to meet you over the phone, man. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person one day. It'd be great.
Absolutely. Well, Jordan, before we have you do a drop us, can you tell people where they can follow you on social media?
Yeah, definitely. Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Jordan_Fisher. Yo, what's up, Jordan Fisher? And you're checking on my boy, David Duane.